So is it time now to move to your next stop? Do you think it's time to possibly rejoin your soul group and your friends now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So tell me as we move into that space, tell me everything that you see, perceive, and feel as you now move.
So my guide just kind of snaps his fingers, and then we're here. And here is cloud, like there's clouds everywhere, and it's like really like a little ambiance is really nice, and it's kind of purplish bluish with like some stars and stuff. And I'm trying to see my soul family.
Yes. So let me just invite them in.
Okay.
And as we invite them in, you may notice how they're arranged. They may be in a cluster. They might be in a half circle. Okay. Just allow them to stand in a way where we can take one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Just notice their beautiful brightness. Might notice just several light energies that are preparing to greet you. How are they arranged? So I can help you.
So they're just little balls of light.
Okay.
Like they haven't projected into something else yet, and they're in a circle
Okay.
all around me,
Okay.
front and back. But I
Yeah,
guess what they're planning on doing is projecting one at a time.
correct. And right now, I want you to just tap into the feeling of being with your soul group again and what that feels like to you.
Yeah, it feels like old buddies, like like we're gonna joke around with each other and take digs at each other and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that it's not so serious
No.
anymore.
Mhm. No.
Okay. And about how many do you perceive, if you could guess? How many of those?
I would say around 15.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and just begin with the first one. And there will be one that just you can turn towards one of these lights,
Mm-hmm.
and you
It,
will recognize who they are
uh-huh.
in your life today, or they may tell you who they are.
Yeah. So the first one is my deceased grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and she's so happy to see me.
She is.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
um she's kind of like dancing around, and
Yeah.
um
What other roles has your grandmother had in some of your previous lives?
so she's been my child before as well.
She
um
has.
yeah, and she has been an uncle. um she's played all kinds of roles in previous lives,
Mm-hmm.
but she almost always incarnates in my like immediate-ish family. Yeah.
She does. All right. So you're going to hear her give you a message.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to what she has to tell you.
she said that she loves me very much, and that she's apologizing for not doing exactly what she was necessarily supposed to do in this life.
Mhm.
So she's apologizing not only for the way that she treated me sometimes, but mostly for the fact that she didn't do the like inner work that she needed to do in order to make my life easier.
Mhm.
So she's like apologizing profusely for allowing the lineage of like abuse really to like just continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Who is next? Just allow her to recede and allow the next one to step forward.
My Uncle Tim.
Okay. Hello, Uncle Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is so funny. Um he's like flying around. He has such a good personality. Um and it's so good to see him.
Mhm.
I miss him so much. And he is also sorry for leaving me early. Um, he, in this life, committed suicide, and he said that it was not the right decision and that he made it out of like hatred. Like he had so much hatred built up for his life and his circumstances that he couldn't handle it anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice does he have for you today?
He says that I'm so much stronger than he ever was, and that I'm so capable of anything and everything that I want to do. And he's so happy to watch my journey. Like he's saying that it's really exciting and
Mhm.
that he it's almost like he never knows like what decision I'm gonna make next, and it's very like entertaining.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Let's ask him to recede. And who steps up next?
So it's a little weird because it's my husband.
Okay.
Um
Mhm.
he's alive. Um
Yes. And
yeah.
his consciousness is still existing up there. We are not 100% here. So you will see parts and aspects of them there.
Oh.
Hmm. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he's there and he's just got such a warm, loving energy.
Hmm.
And it's almost like we're two of the same.
Mm.
Like our souls are very, like it's, you know how like DNA kind of spirals around each other?
Yes, yes. I know that image.
That's, yeah, so that's
Hmm.
almost like my energy and his energy like spiral around each other in like an upward motion.
Yeah. And what would you call that in earth terms?
It feels like we're like soulmates.
Very good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
So
like,
he's your soulmate. And what other relationships have you had in other lives? Allow him to tell you that or show it to you.
so he's been my father. He is mostly shows up as male energy in his lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's been my child before, my father. He's been my partner in multiple lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems though that he prefers to have either a father-child connection or a like a parent-child connection.
Mm-hmm. He does. Okay.
Because we can connect deeper that way, like on a deeper level. It's like we're a part of each other biologically. Yeah. So it's like we
Mm-hmm.
can be close. It's like we're closer that way. He wants to be closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what advice does he have for you today?
He's just really supportive of me and everything I do. And he loves me so unconditionally. Like, it doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what I do to him, like what I've done in past lives, or like any mistakes that I've made, or like any future mistakes that I might make. It won't matter because he like loves me like more than anything, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And he just tells me that we're always going to be together, and that's such a comforting feeling to know that like I have him, and like I'm so lucky to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels so lucky to have me. We're just like, it's just like, oh my God, just like so much unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
My whole body feels hot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Beautiful. All right. Let's ask him to recede and see who else is next for you. Who else is in your group?
My sister is stepping forward.
Mm-hmm.
My sister in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And so even on it makes sense why we were paired in this type of relationship in this life, because it seems that on the spirit side we also have some like weirdness between us, like we
Mm-hmm.
have work to do with each other or something.
Okay.
um it feels like I mean, it doesn't feel like it. it's weird because I know this emotion probably shouldn't be here, but like it feels like she's like there's jealousy. Like she's jealous of like me and my energy and my connection with my soulmate, my husband's energy, and
Okay.
yeah.
So let's look at it from even a higher perspective here. She's in your soul group, and everyone in your group is there to teach one another. What is it that she is trying to teach you, or you are trying to teach her? What role have you agreed on?
So it seems that I am at a higher level of
Development?
progression than she is, and it's almost like she's my like little sister, or which she's not in this life. She's my older sister, but it's almost like it's like I'm like she's looking up to me, and I think my role to teach her is about unconditional love and being unconditional with love. Not Yep, that's it.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
And does she have a message for you today?
Yeah. She is telling me that there's something, she's also teaching me something. But what is it? Maybe I'm not listening very well. uh, so she's saying that she's teaching me about, okay. So I'm like the soft and she's the hard. So she's trying to teach me to be a little bit harder and like have more boundaries, and to there's like a big emphasis on boundaries and standing up for myself and speaking up and saying when I've had enough of something. And she was it makes perfect sense. She was put into my life to do that. So that's one of the things that I'm working on with her is boundaries and being able to be who I am without feeling without caring about judgment from other people.
Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, let's ask her to recede. And who is next?
Mom is next.
Okay.
And her spirit is so loving and kind and soft and sweet. And she's like bittersweet. She's so sweet. And it's strange because in this life I only catch glimpses of that. Like with her elephant soul, when she was the elephant, like that's who she was all the time. Like she was her soul. But like in this life she has so many problems that I only see glimpses of who she really is, like at a soul level. And it's beautiful. And I just wish that she's been hurt too many times in this life, she says. She's she's tired and she feels really worn down, and like her soul is really tired, is what it looks like, feels like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What message does she have for you today?
She also understands that, just like my grandma and her mother, that she didn't break the generational pattern that she was supposed to. And that I just feel so bad for her. It just seems like she's drowning in this life. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's so ready to she's ready to be done.
Why don't you ask her if there is something that her body needs
Mm-hmm.
in her current life, something that you can give her?
Yeah, she needs light, light, like a light shower and light energy inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
She's feeling a lot better.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she just needs time to recuperate.
Okay. Very good. Let's go ahead and have her recede. And who is next?
Charlie. I don't know who Charlie is.
Okay.
um,
Yes, I like these. All right. So, Charlie, thank you
mm,
for stepping forward. Sometimes people in your soul group decide
mhm,
to not incarnate in your life, but perhaps Charlie is someone you haven't met yet.
mhm.
So, let's see what other relationships you and Charlie have had in other lifetimes.
So Charlie has been my like my general in army before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? It seems like they're always kind of in a that might be the only life. The only one that I'm feeling or sensing is like this life where Charlie was a general, and um we had like a really close connection, and I was like his number
Mm-hmm.
one, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh but I think Charlie is my future child.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
um Obligated because I didn't know whether I would have children in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
but it seems that he will come in and be a very positive influence on my home, and will bring so much joy and love and knowledge. I think that Charlie might be even further ahead than I am.
Okay.
And doesn't incarnate often.
Mhm.
Um,
Would you ask Charlie, is he newer to your soul group?
no, he's like the grandpa.
He is, okay.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
he's gonna be he's gonna be done soon. Like this next life with me might be his last.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what advice does Charlie have for you in your current lifetime today?
So immediately he said that I need to be eating better. Um,
Hmm.
that I need to be drinking lots of water, eating healthier. Um, I think really it's obviously for my good, but it's also like a selfish thing. Because he's gonna be coming out of me, and he wants the genetics to be like a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah, so um yeah, it's definitely a lot of like health advice, and then also oh, okay. So when he comes in, he's going to be very even kill, like not going to be a super emotional person. Um but sensitive.
Okay.
It's interesting. I don't know if that means like autism. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Um but like stoic, like still.
Okay.
Like he's going to teach me a lot by being so in control of like emotional regulation. Um okay, so we like help each other with that, because I'm going to like teach him the foundation when he comes in, but there's also going to be this like back and forth of like regulating each other in a way.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Hmm. Can he tell you if he will incarnate as a male or a female? Are we allowed to know?
feels like a boy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, little boy.
Hmm. Beautiful. All right, let's have him recede. And who is next?
The rest of the group is really they're like I'm having a harder time
Connecting,
with
that's okay.
yeah, with them. They're
Mhm.
like a little bit dimmer or something.
Yeah, okay. All right, is there a collective message perhaps that they might have for you? And we'll move on from this space.
They're just like lifting me up,
Mm.
like hip hip hooray, like they're throwing me up and down.
Okay. Mm.
And they're just really they're just saying I'm doing great. Like this life is like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm healing, like I'm doing what I came here to do, which is to kind of help heal the lineage of this family line that I was born into,
Mm-hmm.
and to I'm trying to ask if there's anything like that I'm going to be doing in the future. Like, what's my contribution like to this planet?
Mm-hmm. We can also ask your counsel that question.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think they're gonna tell me.
Okay. All right. So now it's time to leave this space. How do they say goodbye to you?
They're all waving and clapping and dancing and spinning around and um just saying we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now let's go ahead and move to that time and that place for you to meet your council of light. This is a great honor to be before this group of wise beings, and they are waiting for you. Just tell me what the space looks like, what it appears.
It feels like there's some like energy moving through my throat. um it is so there are 5 council,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all sitting at like a long desk, and they're facing towards me, and the guy that was with me when I came in with the big hat is with me behind me with his clipboard.
Okay.
And yeah. and and yeah, I guess he's gonna take notes maybe or something, or
Yeah.
speak on my behalf maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And they all feel very like old and wise and regal, and um yeah,
Mm-hmm.
happy
Okay.
to be here.
Okay. And can you describe what they look like?
They're mostly just light.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
um I don't think they're presenting a physical form.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask one of them to moderate, and they can hear me as I ask questions. Is there a particular elder that is stepping forward to moderate?
Yes, so the one in the middle is going to be the moderator.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's an honor to be here with all of you. Is there a reason that a particular council is assigned to an energy that is having these experiences in all these planets all over?
Well, the council is over so many souls, but they're assigned to a specific group based on their soul achievements, like their strengths and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
the souls are assigned to the, it's almost like a bubble that's casted out, that capture a certain okay, it's like the visual that I'm getting is like the council is sitting on top of this big bubble, and there's a whole bunch of little bubbles in the big bubble, and those little bubbles are soul clusters and soul groups,
Mm-hmm.
and those are assigned and float into, okay, yeah, so um there's a whole bunch of bubbles. It's like the multiverse. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And the bubbles, the smaller bubbles of soul groups that are in the bigger bubbles can flow in and out depending on certain lessons or certain strengths that the souls or soul groups are working on collectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And do you pick them or do they pick you, or is it a co-creation of how you choose your counsel?
yeah, it's together. Um so they have like a signal on their bubble that kind of beacons out, that's like, this is kind of what I do, like this is the counsel of, strength, of growth, of perseverance, of whatever. And if you want to, you or your soul group collectively decide that they need more of that, they will just float into that bubble.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But it's not like the groups of souls are deciding. It's like a bigger thing outside of the council and the soul groups that um it's like it just happens.
Okay. And what does your counsel say about your progress?
They are happy with my progress so far. There are So they're saying that I am too attached to my humanness. Um, and that I'm getting too caught up in being stuck, like being in the human experience. Like I'm letting small trivialities that maybe shouldn't bother me as much kind of like overwhelm me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like an area of growth, something that I need to work on. Um, they're very happy with the amount of soul work that I've done and how open I am to new experiences. And they're happy, they're glad that I'm working on trust.
Mm-hmm. And
They
what do they think about this session that you're experiencing right now?
they're so glad that I'm doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, thank God we needed to talk to you. We're so happy that you are expanding in this way. Um, and that you are open to it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also really, really happy with the work that you're doing. And they
Mm-hmm.
want you to know that you are doing such wonderful, amazing work. And it's almost making me feel emotional in my body, because you really truly are shining. You're like a light, you know? and
Mm.
you're helping a lot of souls.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Okay. What other advice does your counsel have for you today? One of the questions that you had was why you're having such difficulty in struggling in this body and in this life. What advice do they have for you regarding that subject?
So they say that because of my previous life where I was so powerful in my abilities, right? Like my mental abilities and spiritual abilities, um, like the telepathy, the flying, the telekinesis, like all of those things. It's a really rough adjustment for me because I'm used to being or having more power in that way, more control in that way. And this was definitely almost like a test to see how I would do without it. Um, and that's partially why it's so hard. Another thing that they said is that I am also coming to a close on my incarnations. So I'm getting tired of being in a physical form every time. It's really, really taxing for me. Um, my soul specifically really enjoys freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that. Um, and there's almost this feeling. I have a really hard time accessing the freedom in this physical body that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you attracted, or is your soul attracted to being in bodies in certain parts of the world for cultural reasons?
I can't tell. I feel India.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's also that connection was with me in the elephant life too. Like that's partially why I chose an elephant form.
Okay. What sort of life are you most comfortable living in? It could be non-human as well.
It seems that I've had a mix of lives. And it almost seems like I might kind of prefer solitude, like not very many people around me, but I learn the most about who I am in community settings.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason why my last life was so community based, was because I needed to break out of wanting to just be on my own and be in peace, because other people bring up things that make you not. I feel much more peace within myself when no one else is around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that was inhibiting my growth.
Yes. Is there anything final that this wise counsel has to say to you today?
They want me to do more. So they're really highlighting the relationships in my life, and they want me to be a beacon of light for other people and to project my light as much as possible. So it's really important for me to fill myself all the way and spill love out. They want me to continue the work that I did in my last life, how I and my community were really able to project, almost like send a shockwave of love and light out into the universe. They want me to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. May they show you what your first life on earth was.
Atlantis.
Okay.
Water. So much water.
Mm.
I was some sort of creature.
Okay.
Weird, like grain guy.
Okay.
With like, yeah, I mean, and I wore, okay, so I was like some sort of servant for the higher ups. And they were different species. I'm not the same as them.
Okay.
And um pretty poor, like, just kind of serving them in whatever way that they need. And I had my own little like community that I went back to, and I was able to swim a whole lot. I really love the water, and there were mer people that I got along with really well.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm. And could they tell you what is your home planet, if you have one?
I do. It is purple. It's mostly covered with water, but the land that is there is really like super lush. But I don't really go out. I'm not on the land. I'm like I'm in the water.
You are in the water.
Yeah.
What is this planet known for?
Like love, abundance. It like reminds me of like the way Venus is supposed to feel or project, like the energy of love and from Venus, but it doesn't look like Venus. It's yeah, it's mostly like a purple water planet.
What do you look like on this planet?
I feel like I'm a mermaid.
You do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense why I liked mermaids so much in Atlantis, I guess. Um, I'm. We have these big, like coral buildings.
You do.
Yeah, like, and there's like fish and like float, like swimming in and out, and um, it's like there's so much growth and life on everything. It's like even the buildings are alive. It's really cool.
And why did you decide to come to Earth?
Because I thought that, like, the first thing that came to mind was that I was like floating around too much. Like, I needed to be like more grounded and stationary. And there was I had to try something more restrictive because I've had, like I said, so much freedom in my movements and in my abilities that I wanted to try something that was more challenging.
Okay. And how are you notified that it's time to reincarnate? And who tells you?
Hmm. Seems like the guy with the clipboard comes
Okay.
and tells me.
Okay.
He's like, it's about time. Um, and then we go through, like, based on kind of what I want to work on, we'll go through potential lives and play those like all the way out and kind of what's gonna happen. And then I pick one that feels the most aligned with what I want to learn.
Okay. And when he does that, can you tell me just to describe your desire to come forward again as the human you are today?
So I've had human lives before, and they were hard, and it looks like I mix up my human lives with my not human lives. So I like alternate almost so that I can get a break from the restrictiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to come into this life because he's just saying because you had a lot of work to do. Like, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what that means, like what kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of
Um,
work?
okay. So I've spent a lot of time in previous lives doing lots and lots of good and trying to stay mostly in the good. And this life was to mix me. I needed I need to focus more on the dark in this life. Um, and it's a part of balance.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've had so many lives where it's been easy and um, a little bit more carefree, I had to come and do the darker work on my soul
Mm-hmm.
for the balance.
Have you ever said no, that you're not ready if they tell you it's time to reincarnate?
I have before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Coming into my life, my current life, I was extremely apprehensive. I was very nervous.
You are.
Yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this is going to be like, I knew coming in, like having a pretty good understanding of my other lives. Now I see that in comparison, it was definitely like one that I was the most nervous about. And I knew that there was going to be a lot of darkness involved in this life. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it was going to be a challenge, but I wanted to get a whole bunch out of the way in one life and not drag it out for much longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why it's hard.
So let's move to that time where you are planning your life as Michelle. And I'm curious about what that looks like, your surroundings. Are you working with other beings? And how do they give you choices on your body and who you're going to be? What does all that look like?
So, yeah, so it's like I'm working in a group of like my soul family, and then also the guy with the clipboard is there, and he is kind of going through reels on the projector. So like it's projected up into space and we can kind of see um like a 360 degree, like, you know, you can see my body and kind of like what I'm choosing that I want. And I see that I chose certain physical features for because I like them. And
Mm-hmm.
um and there's also like they're also playing out um like events that can happen in my life, and there's like multiple options to certain events too.
There are. And who decides? Do you decide it as a group?
It kind of feels like they're like, okay, like I have a decision to make in this life, and I have 2 to 3 options, and I get to, and I get to pick. So it's like, I think that's my free will. And but we narrow it down, like it's narrowed down to 2 or 3 choices that I can choose, but ultimately it'll all work out the same. My lessons and goals that I want to happen, it's just I have those specific choice moments that I can pick from, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Is there anything else to learn from? Actually, are you shown like a movie of these different scenarios and how they would play out?
Yeah, it's like a movie, but it's also like I'm looking down on it, and then there's like forks in the road. It's almost like it's a movie, but it's also like a trail or a path that I follow.
Mm-hmm. And these lessons that you set for yourself in advance, how does the universe make those lessons happen once you are incarnated?
Huh. It's like they're pre-programmed. Um
Mm-hmm.
and uh um uh, it's like a okay, so it's like a blue. Oh God, I don't know what that thing is.
Okay.
It's like a blue shape, big, smooth, but it holds the, or that's what it seems like. It like holds the program. So it like I plan all this out, and then it's like, I can insert a chip or like something into it, and then it's pre-programmed. So once I reach a certain area in my life, it'll automatically set to play, and then I just play it out, and then depending on, it's almost like a video game, like depending on what choice I choose, the path shifts slightly, but it's all pre-programmed. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. What if you change your mind when you're actually in the experience? What if you decide that you don't want to take the plan that you set for yourself and you just hit the rewind button and go in a complete different direction? Can you do that?
Yes. So it looks like it just takes a big detour. Like, assuming that my life is a straight line and that each decision that I make is a new branch on that line, it almost looks like I veer off to the right. Like, I make a completely different decision than I decided to make, and I go off to the right, but then I still end up coming back around to the set timeline at a certain position in my life. It's just like a huge detour if I
I
do
see.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I want to go to the time, the moment. that you were about to incarnate in this life. When you choose your parents are chosen, it's already done. What does that look like for that part of you that's about to be born?
So it's almost like I'm standing on the edge of a cloud, and my main spirit guide is with me, and I am so nervous and anxious about going into this life, and I'm even thinking about almost like changing my mind. And but we already agreed, and it's already set. It's almost like I just need to jump. Like I'm scared to jump off the high dive, but I just like have to do it, like I just have to jump in and get my feet wet to know. And so it's like all these clouds around, and it's like this vortex hole thing that I can just like kind of jump into, and I'll be like suctioned, like flushed down into my body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.